Hi, welcome to the BookEnds YouTube channel. I'm still alone in the office. We have gone into isolation, as has most of the world, or at least the country, and we didn't want to give up on our videos and our channel, especially during this time when we know that many of you are looking for content, looking for distractions, and we hope we could provide that. So here I am, alone, and I want to talk to you about a BookEnds policy that we have always had and will continue to have for as long as I'm in charge. And that's the policy of always responding to queries. At BookEnds, we believe that it's incredibly important, fair, kind, and responsible to respond to queries. I know there are some agencies and agents who feel overwhelmed by the number of queries they receive. I get it. We receive a couple thousand a month here at BookEnds. Not each, but combined, definitely. It can be a lot. We learned long ago, well, to be honest, we always respond to snail mail queries too. We don't make it overly complicated. We can't make it always personal. I know as much as authors would like a personal response, we can't always do that, but we can always respond, which to me is a little better than a no response means no policy. For me, if I were an author, I would just like to know. Years ago, I had a friend who was job hunting, and sending out resumes without any response is pretty common. It was common then, it's common now. I think what was most frustrating was going on interviews and never getting a response off those. And that's when it really sort of struck home with me of how important it is to respond, just to have some sort of closure. Now, I know authors will say, well, it sure would be nice to have a personalized response. The truth is, there isn't always something personal to say. Most of the time when we reject a query, it really is just because it didn't strike a chord with us. Maybe the idea felt familiar, like a lot of other things we read. Maybe it wasn't of interest to us personally. Maybe it was a poorly written query, or maybe it wasn't a query at all. Sometimes we get queries that are simply, I've written this book, it's a thriller, I think you're gonna love it, read more. Well, I need more than that. I'm not gonna walk into a bookstore, pick up a book and have it say read more and think, oh, okay, I'll spend $20 on this. Or I will spend an hour of my time trying to figure it out. That's not the way it works. Anyway, I think I completely went off track, which is hard to believe. It's also easy to do when you're by yourself. So at BookEnds, you will always receive a response to your queries. We use Query Manager, which I walked through in another video you can check out. And I'll face it, our responses are forms. Everybody's is a little more individual to them. But if we're requesting material, it is more or less a form. And if we're rejecting material, it's more or less a form. But if something seems to be taking a long time, you're not getting an answer, the truth is the agent is busy and hasn't gotten to it yet. But you will receive a response, always. It's, I know the work authors do. I know the work you put into that book. I know how hard it is to query. I know how stressful it is. And I know how difficult getting constant no's can be. I also feel that you would rather have a no than submit to 50 agents and never hear back from any of them. I think that leaves you in limbo, especially if you're somebody like me who always has hope that good things will happen. I guess that, well, I don't want that hope to be crushed. It's hard to know when to move on if you're not getting answers. And we want you to move on when it's time to move on. We want you to be writing that next book, and we want you to continue querying. Because the truth about publishing is you get published because you've been persistent, because you've moved on to the next book, and the next book is better than the last book, and you've learned from your mistakes, and you've learned from feedback, and you've learned from your beta readers and your critique partners, and now you can take what you've learned and move on to the next thing. So no matter what, you should always expect to receive an answer from BookEnds. We hope it's a yes as much as you do, because the truth is we want more clients and we want great books. Trust me, especially now, we want great books. So keep plugging away. Expect an answer from BookEnds no matter what. Don't forget to follow us, to like us, to subscribe, all of those things, so that you can see the other great videos we have coming. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.